Hey everyone, Christina Del Rey with your forecast for the week of January 11th, 2020. Very big week in astrology. I think that perhaps myself and some other astrologers as well, perhaps we underestimated the astrology of last week. But the truth of the matter is, I think now that Mars is in Taurus along with Uranus, and even though they're not quite together yet, they are going to meet in the sky, so they are applying to each other. And this is going to be big shakeups and unpredictability, and possibly even violence, I hate to say. So there are a lot of unpredictable energies going on, especially for January and February. It does look like it will get a little bit better after that, but there will be social unrest probably pretty much all year. I honestly did not expect what happened in the nation, in the United States, until like the 20th or around the 20th of January. So it will be interesting to see how that energy manifests on that day. But for this week, we have a new moon, and it's a very significant new moon because if you remember, we had the Pluto-Saturn conjunction in January last year. It was right around exactly the same time. And this is what, like, we didn't know it at the time. I mean, astrologers predicted that there was going to be a major restructuring, but we didn't know exactly what it was going to be. So think back to January of last year when you had really no idea that a wrecking ball was coming through your life. And, you know, you were kind of like, we were kind of like sitting ducks, really. You know, even though astrologers knew that something big was coming, we just couldn't really put our finger on it. We really knew that what I kept thinking was, you know, Donald Trump was going to go down, or, you know, like the structure, the political structure was going to go down. And that was true to some extent, but it was a lot more than that. So anyway, this new moon is going to reactivate whatever you were kind of blindsided with in January. So whatever you started in January, or whatever, you know, whatever that meant for you, that restructuring of your life, whatever completely changed, this is kind of bringing that wound back up. However, we're starting a new cycle on it, and we are hopefully going to manifest a new energy and rebuilding energy on that same degree. So the fact that this new moon is at the same degree just shows that, you know, the universe knows what it's doing. And you're going to be you're not going to be a sitting duck anymore. You're going to be aware of how you have to change, how you have to empower yourself, because this new moon is going to be conjunct Pluto, which is very intense. So intense emotions, you know, stepping into the higher manifestation of this is stepping into your power more fully, reconstructing your life. But this time you're doing it with knowledge. You are not, you know, just kind of sitting there and then boom, something happens and changes your life. It's more like you're empowered now. And Pluto is really about evolution. So what did you learn in the past year? How are you going to apply what you learned in the past year? The biggest thing too with Pluto, I think, is intentions. If you have good intentions, I believe that, you know, you'll get the higher manifestation, hopefully. But if you have manipulative, or if you have, you know, harmful intentions, then, you know, you might manifest the lower side, you know, of Pluto. And, you know, that can lead to all kinds of, you know, not pleasant things like, fighting and violence and things like that. So we want to keep it at the highest vibration possible. You're going to take what you learned and you're going to have a priority shift. You're shifting your priorities now. And the structures that you have built have been torn. How are you going to rebuild them? That's the question that this new moon is asking you. And you should set your intentions as well. And Pluto is very deep. It's very emotional and very deep. So it's important to sit with that energy. And, where was your power taken away? How are you going to take back that power? So we have this, and then we have Mars, in Taurus along with Uranus, and that is shakeups in foundations, money, shakeups, shakeups in resources, because Taurus is all about resources. So there's going to be those, there's going to be that instability or that unpredictability. And as if this new moon wasn't enough, conjunct Pluto, we're also going to have Uranus go direct like a day later. So Uranus going direct is going to be all about freedom and independence from a situation that it's going to be empowering. It's going to free you, and it's going to free you from some wounds as well. So we have a big week in astrology this week. Let's see where this falls in your sign. So Taurus, so we have Mercury squaring Uranus in your sign on Tuesday. This is going to happen in a part of the chart for you that has to do with your body or how people see you. This also has to do with the workplace or your reputation. So don't be surprised if people offend you in the workplace or say something to you that triggers you. You want to make sure that you don't react erratically. Because this could be harmful to your reputation, or this could be harmful to how people see you. So you just want to make sure that you're acting with dignity, if possible. And there just could be some kind of a push for the truth. Maybe somebody is really offending you with their values, and you want to communicate yours. Just watch how you do that. Make sure you do that sensibly, mindfully. And then on Wednesday, we have the new moon in the same degree as Saturn and Pluto were in January of last year. So this was the wrecking ball that came through and leveled an area of people's lives. And for you, this did have to do with the 9th house, which is law, it's legal matters, philosophy, higher education, travel. And this had to do with, karma on one hand, and really just changing the way that you do things in this area of life. For some people, maybe it meant, something that was going on in a higher education setting had to be completely restructured. Or maybe it was your philosophies had to be restructured. And this is a political area as well. So maybe, politics got, whatever politics you were involved in got annihilated. But whatever there was there has to be a priority shift. And this new moon, we didn't know what we were going to learn. January 2020, we were all still blissfully ignorant and thought it was going to be a good year. And then, 2020 happened and we learned all these lessons and it was really hard. And now we are starting a new cycle on this very same lesson, but we're applying what we learned. So we're empowering ourselves. So what in this 9th house area are you doing to empower yourself? How are you going to empower yourself in legal matters, higher education matters, or your philosophies and your beliefs, right? This is your belief system. And how are you going to communicate that? Venus is going to also square Chiron at the same time. So the wounds will come up, and they might be wounds in your subconscious. They could be karmic in nature. They could be behind the scenes. They could be secret. But the wounds will come out, and you have to look at them, and then you have to say, what did I learn? And what am I going to intend to improve? And how am I going to shift my priorities? And Pluto's all about empowerment. So now I'm taking this lesson and I am empowering myself. I am looking at my personal power and how I can apply that. And then, as if we don't have enough going on, Thursday on the 14th, we're going to have Uranus go direct. And I do think that this will be good for you because, Uranus has been going retrograde since August. So you want to take a look back at what was going on in August. And when Uranus goes direct, he tends to shake us free from something. So for you, this is an area of the chart that, like I said, has to do with the body or how others see you, but also your independence, and Taurus is a pretty independent sign. So you are going to feel more independent. And when it goes direct, it's also going to make a really nice trine to Venus. So whatever you're restructuring in your belief system or your higher education or legal matters, it is going to feel very freeing and empowering for you. It is supported by this. Now, not to say that there aren't going to be any shakeups, because there are, but it's going to shake you like free from something, and you're going to feel better. You're just going to feel more free. Like you're going to feel more like authentically yourself. Well, this is the astrology for the week, the major astrology anyway. And I would love to know in the comments what happens during your week. But I think it will ultimately be positive. Have a great week, Taurus.